Hello students, good morning. Hopefully you are very well. Today we are going to start a new piece, that is your third poem, Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. Okay, in my previous class we have finished the autobiographical composition, Strong Roots. So today we are going to start a new piece, that is your third poem, Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare, in your class 11, when we were going through the rapid reader stories like Macbeth, Othello, As You Like It, then you came to know about the life history of William Shakespeare. There you came to know that William Shakespeare, who was born in 1564 and died in 1616. There are very few persons in the world whose birthday and death day are same. William Shakespeare is one of them. 23rd April is the birthday and death day of William Shakespeare. In your class 11, you came to know that William Shakespeare was the greatest dramatist of the world. Shakespeare, who is known to us as the Bard of Avon, one of the greatest English poets or English dramatists. In your class 11, you realized, you came to know about William Shakespeare's great characteristic or great trait about his playwriting capability or skill. Now in your class 12, you are going to know about William Shakespeare's poetic career, his great poetic genius. Shakespeare composed 37 plays, because you came to know this in your class 11. Today you are going to know that William Shakespeare composed not only 37 world famous dramas or plays, but also he composed 154 sonnets, SONNETS. So first of all, you have come to know about the poetic sonnet, SONNET. First of all, I am telling you the pronunciation of the term is sonnet, SONNET, not sonnet. Okay. First of all, you have come to know what is a sonnet. So, sonnet means a poem of 14 lines with a particular rhyme scheme. Sonnet is a poem consisting of 14 lines with a particular rhyme scheme. Sonnet, the term, has come from the Italian term sonetto, SONNETTO. Sonetto, that means a little sound or song. The sonnet pattern, the sonnet style was discovered in Italy in 13th century. In 13th century, the famous Italian poet Dante, Dante, discovered the pattern of sonnet poem. Later, it was popularized by another world famous Italian poet, Petrarch. Okay. So, Italian sonnet is also known to us as Petrarchan sonnet. The chief characteristic of Italian or Petrarchan sonnet is, here the sonnet poem is divided into two parts, two sections. One is called octave, another is called sestet. Octave means the first stanza that carries 8 lines. Sestet means the second stanza that carries only 6 lines. Here the poet follows the rhyme scheme, that is ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CDE. Clear? Later, in 16th century, in Elizabethan age, when William Shakespeare appeared in the sky of English literature, he introduced a different form of sonnet, a different type of sonnet pattern. Shakespeare started to write sonnet poem using a new style that is not similar to Petrarchan or Italian sonnet. So Shakespearean sonnet is called English sonnet because Shakespeare was an Englishman. Shakespeare was from England. So Shakespearean sonnet is also known to us as English sonnet. The main characteristic or trait of English sonnet or Shakespearean sonnet is that here the poem is divided into 4 parts or 4 sections. The first part is called first quatrain, Quatrain. The second part is called second quatrain. Third part is called third quatrain. And the last part of the poem is called concluding couplet, C-O-U-P-L-E-T. Quatrain means a stanza consisting of 4 lines. So Shakespearean sonnet or English sonnet carries 4 stanzas. First stanza means first 4 lines. Second stanza means second 4 lines. Third stanza means third 4 lines. Fourth stanza means only 2 lines. Okay. So one stanza of 4 lines is called a quatrain, Quatrain. And the last stanza that carries only 2 lines is called concluding couplet, C-O-U-P-L-E-T. Okay. This is the brief history of sonnet. So I am again clearing. Sonnet, the term has come from the Italian word sonetto, S-O-N-N-E-T-T-O. Sonnet means a poem consisting of 14 lines with a particular rhyme scheme. Sonnet style was discovered, introduced in Italy by the famous Italian poet Dante in 13th century. Later, in 16th century, later it was popularized by the famous Italian poet Petrarch. Italian sonnet is also known to us as Petrarchan sonnet. Italian sonnet or Petrarchan sonnet means a sonnet of 2 stanzas, a poem of 2 stanzas. First stanza is called octave, that means first 8 lines. Second stanza is called sestet, that means 6 lines. Later, in 16th century, when William Shakespeare appeared in the sky of English literature, Shakespeare brought a new pattern of sonnet. So, Shakespearean sonnet or English sonnet became very popular all over the world as it was a very new style. Okay, Shakespearean sonnet or English sonnet means a sonnet poem of 4 stanzas. First stanza is called first quatrain, second stanza is called second quatrain, third stanza is called third quatrain, fourth stanza is called concluding couplet. Here the rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Here the rhyme scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Clear? So, William Shakespeare composed in total 154 sonnets. From the number 1 to 126 sonnets were written by Shakespeare, addressing to his dearest friend who is Mr. W.H. or Mr. William Herbert, Herbert, who was the Earl, E-A-R-L, Earl of Southampton or Pembroke, City of England. Mr. W.H. or William Herbert was a beautiful, noble young man of Pembroke or Southampton. So Shakespeare composed from 1 to 126 number sonnets addressing to his beautiful young friend, Mr. W.H. Clear? From 127 up to 152, these sonnets were written by William Shakespeare addressing to a dark lady. Okay? Sonnet number 153 and 54. 153 and 154, these two sonnets were written by Shakespeare addressing to the Roman god of love, who is Cupid, C-U-P-I-D. This is the account of Shakespearean sonnets. William Shakespeare, the greatest dramatist of the world, one of the greatest sonnetiers of English world, is also world famous as the user of richest vocabulary in world literature. In world literature, no other poet uses such a great vocabulary. William Shakespeare uses in his literary works almost 20,000 words. And only in the second position comes the famous poet John Milton, who has used only 9,000 words in his vocabulary, in his literature works. And the third position is taken by the famous Greek poet, who is Homer, the composer of Iliad and Odyssey. Homer uses only 8,000 words in his vocabulary. So it is said that William Shakespeare is the greatest literature in world literature, who has used almost 20,000 words in his vocabulary. Okay? Shakespearean sonnets. Shakespeare, who composed 154 sonnets. Those sonnets were composed by Shakespeare in 1590. And the sonnets were published by the world famous English literature Thomas Thorpe, T-H-O-R-P-E, Thomas Thorpe, T-H-O-R-P-E, in 1609. Again I am repeating. Here in your syllabus also, the poem Sonnet 18 was composed by William Shakespeare in 1590. And it was published by Thomas Thorpe in 1609. Okay, Shakespeare has composed this Sonnet 18 in blank verse. It is a poem of blank verse. In sonnet sequence of William Shakespeare, this poem that has been included to your syllabus takes the position of number 18. So it is called Sonnet 18. Usually sonnet poem does not carry any title. Only the sonnet poems carry numbers, digital numbers. Sonnet number 1, sonnet number 2, sonnet number 3, in this way. So, as this sonnet poem has been included to your syllabus, so it must carry a title. For the very reason, the first line of this poem has been used here as the title of the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? It is not originally the title of the poem. As it is a sonnet poem, usually sonnet poem does not carry any title. So, the first line of the poem has been used here as the title of the poem. Okay. William Shakespeare wrote this sonnet poem, sonnet number 18, to immortalize his wonderful, most beautiful, most charming friend, who is Mr. W.H. or Mr. William Hubbard. Shakespeare started to write sonnet poems carrying so many themes. In his sonnets, Shakespeare explores so many themes like the ravages of time, the brevity of life and beauty, the theme of love, the theme of timelessness of poetry, etc. Here the poet uses the theme of time in the poem Sonnet 18. So Sonnet 18 is a poem that carries the theme of time. Here the poet William Shakespeare attempts to immortalize the outstanding, matchless loveliness of his beautiful young friend through the lines of poetry, through the lines of verse, V-E-R-S-E. Usually every mortal thing, every mortal object is a subject to change or decay. So Shakespeare's beautiful young friend, who is the Earl of Southampton, who is the Earl of Pembroke, Mr. W.H. or William Hubbard, was a mortal figure as he was a human being. Shakespeare was moved, deeply impressed by his friend's overwhelming loveliness and beauty and elegance. So he tried to make his friend immortal on this earth through the art of poetry. For the very reason, the poet has carved, has inscribed the exceptional beauty or loveliness of his friend in the lines of his verse. V-E-R-S-E. Clear? As the structural trait of the poem, we find that it is an argumentative monologue. Only in the 9th line of the poem, we get a change, shift of thought when the poet uses a conjunction that is but. The opening sentence of the poem, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? A rhetorical question. A rhetorical question sentence is used by the poet. And all other portion of the poem is the explanation of the first sentence. So we can say that all other portion of the poem is only one sentence. So In case of structure, sonnet 18 is a Shakespearean sonnet or English sonnet. In case of nature, it is a beautiful love poem because William Shakespeare's heartful love and affection, devotion for his beautiful young friend is expressed here. So it is no doubt a wonderful love lyric in world literature as well as in English literature. The structure of this poem is not only lyrical but also dramatic. Shakespeare has wonderfully composed this sonnet 18 by using a lyrical form, at the same time by using a dramatic format. Okay? Iambic pentameter has been used here by the poet in case of sonnet 18. It is a poem of blank verse. The poet uses the theme of ravages of time. Time kills everything. Time destroys everything. But time cannot destroy the touch of poetry, the creation of verse. So the beauty becomes everlasting, evergreen, when it takes a position in the eternal lines of poetry. Shakespeare loves his beautiful young friend Mr. W.H. madly with his heart. The poet does not want a ruin, a destruction of this matchless beauty or loveliness. So he takes the shelter of poetry. So he takes the refuge of poetry to immortalize his friend. The poet believes that poetry is deathless. Poetry has no death. Shakespeare confidently asserts that as long as human civilization exists on this earth, as long as human race exists on this earth, as long as mankind exists on this earth, this sonnet 18 will be read by people for ages, age after age, generation after generation. This sonnet 18 will be read by the people. And when the people will go through this sonnet 18, they will recall, they will remember how beautiful, how lovely, how elegant Shakespeare's friend was. For the very reason, Shakespeare inscribed, carved, recorded, printed the matchless loveliness, outstanding beauty of his friend. The poet is sure only poetry is the greatest weapon to preserve the unique beauty of his friend on this earth. So even the onslaughts of time and death will be failure to fade FADE, to fade this exceptional beauty. Time is the only healer, time is the only killer, death is the only killer. Time spoils everything, time and tide waits for none. Death kills every human being. Death waits for none. But time and death, both the omnipotent figures of the world, cannot ruin, cannot ravage the great spirit, the great energy of poetry or verse. So the poet has recorded, has printed, inscribed, carved the outstanding loveliness of his friend in the eternal lines of Sonnet 18. The poet is sure, up to the existence of human civilization, this Sonnet 18 will be read by people. And when the people will read this Sonnet 18, the beautiful figure, the outstanding loveliness of his friend will be ever glowing, will be ever green into the heart of people. So for ages, generation after generation, the poet's friend will be immortal, will be deathless into the heart of people. You think how true William Shakespeare was in his attempt, in his dream. Shakespeare died so many years before. Shakespeare's friend William Hubbard or Mr. W.H. died so many years ago. Still in this 21st century, we are reading, we are going through the beautiful lines of Sonnet 18. Especially in English literature world, all over the world, in any class, either in school level or in college level or in university level, this Shakespearean sonnet, sonnet number 18, is taught. In student world, in teachers world, all over, in educational site, sonnet 18 is read. And we recall, remember, we feel the warmth of Shakespeare's friend. Also today, till date, when we are going through the lines of Sonnet 18, we are recalling, we are feeling the warmth of exceptional loveliness of the poet's friend. So you think how successful Shakespeare was in his attempt. Really, by composing Sonnet 18, he has immortalized his beautiful young friend. So Sonnet 18 is a beautiful dedication. Sonnet 18 is a golden tribute. Sonnet 18 is a golden tribute or dedication of the poet William Shakespeare to his beautiful young friend, Mr. W.H. or William Hubbard. This is the introduction page of the poem Sonnet 18. Next day in my next class, we will go through the line by line explanation. Throughout the poem, line by line, word by word explanation will be supplied next day in my next class. Today, up to here. Thank you much.